Have you ever wanted to import your Amazon data directly into Sheets and maybe do it on an automated basis? My name is James with Settler Labs, and in this video, I'll be showing you just how to do that. We're going to be leveraging the Settler Labs MCP along with Claude to write us a MySQL query, and then we're going to use Retool and Workflows to import it into Sheets and then set it up on an automated basis. We're going to start here in Retool in Workflows, and we're going to create new and create a workflow. Then once we're in here, we're going to go ahead and delete, or rather rename this workflow. Name it something that makes sense to you. Then we will delete the starter block that Retool gives us, and we will drag in a new one. And we'll make it a resource query, and we are going to create a new resource. This new resource will be a MySQL resource. Oops. Add new resource, MySQL resource. And once we have that, we will go ahead and press connect account. We need to make sure to name this something. So I will go ahead and name it, name this something that makes sense to you. Then we will go over to Settler Labs and go to Profit Genius Data Hub. And we're going to get the information we need from this generic MySQL connector section. And we're going to copy it out, and we will start filling this out, and I will pause my recording as I fill this out for my demo account here. Now that we've input our information, we will go ahead and hit the test connection button. Good to go. And I will go ahead and create my resource. And then we will hop over to Claude and generate our MySQL query. We're going to make sure that under Search and Tools, our Settler Labs MCP is turned on. And if you don't have this here, please check out our setup video on how to set up Settler Labs MCP with Claude Desktop like I have it here. So with all that in place, we are going to ask Claude to use my MCP tool to write a simple MySQL query to pull my current Amazon FBA inventory levels. You don't always have to specify to use the MCP tool. I just like to be explicit about that personally. And here we go. Claude is off to the races, and it will look in to see what information it has access to. It has found the FBA inventory table and has generated a simple query here for us. We can see, looking at the query, that it's selecting a couple of identifiers along with some inventory numbers and a report date. If you want it to add more to this query, you can go back and forth here. If you want to make adjustments, feel free to go back and forth with Claude. But for the purposes of this workflow and this demo, this should be good enough. So I'm going to copy this query, and I will paste it in here, and we will press run and see what we get. So here we get, we can see here we got 1,398 results. No errors, which is nice to see. If you do see an error here, feel free to take that error output and give it to Claude, and Claude will debug that error with you. Next, actually, before moving on to the next block, I'm going to go ahead and rename this one to get FBA data because it makes things easier further down the line. And we will go ahead and make a new block. And in this one, we will be adding a Sheets resource. And we will go ahead and connect account. And here we will call it, and we will go ahead and give it read and write abilities, and we will make sure to connect with OAuth. I'm actually going to go ahead and switch it to the one that I already have set up. We can see here, if we press reauth, we can go through the process again here of setting up, giving Settler Labs permission, giving Retool permission. to access this Google Sheet. Once that's all set up, we will come back to our workflow. We will rename this to create spreadsheet. And then we will change this to create a spreadsheet. And the title of the sheet, we are going to use Moment, which is within Retool. It's a JavaScript library that Retool has access to. And I'm going to format it. Moment is used for time, and I'm going to format that time in my preferred format here. And I will also add FBA inventory. And so we will run this and see what happens. So our result here, we can see we get a title of today's date, the date that I happen to be recording this, and FBA inventory, which is exactly what we want. And we get a Sheets ID as well in our response. That's what we're going to use in the next step. Now that we've created that sheet, we're going to go ahead and populate that sheet. And in order to do that, we will use the same Sheets resource again. And once we set this up, we will append to a spreadsheet. And instead of hard coding a specific spreadsheet like this, we will be appending to the sheet that was created in the previous step, which was create spreadsheet.data.spreadsheet ID. And that will pass in the spreadsheet that gets created here, will get passed in here to the ID. And we also need to make sure that we are putting in the get FBA data.data. So this will be the response from our initial query here, which I'm going to go ahead and run so that we have data in there. And we've already created the sheet, and then we are appending. So we will go ahead and run this block as well. It ran successfully. We will pop back to Google Sheets. We can see our brand new sheet right here, and we can see that it has successfully populated the information from our query into the sheet. Great. Now that this is all set up, the last step would be to set up the trigger. So this can now run manually as we just saw, but instead, what if we wanted to run this? We can press this edit triggers button here, and we can set it on a schedule, and we can say run every week on Monday at 12 a.m. and save changes. That will schedule it to run, and then all we have to do is publish our workflow, and it will run on Mondays at 12 a.m. UTC. And you can go ahead and tweak your schedule here however you would like. But once we have this turned on, it will run every Monday at 12 a.m. UTC. Just to see this guy run one more time here, we will delete the spreadsheet. We will run it as a whole and have it create instead of running it individually like I did on our initial pass through here. We will press run from the beginning here instead, and we can, in run mode, we can actually see it run the individual steps. So you can see it started the trigger, it ran the query, created the spreadsheet, and inserted. I'm noticing I forgot to rename this, so we will call this populate spreadsheet. Quick to note, if you do rename one of these, so this is create spreadsheet, say I had a create spreadsheet 2, you will see that references to this get automatically updated as well. So you don't have to worry about fixing that if you rename something. You can see now we're back to just create spreadsheet. So if this worked, we should now see this because I had already deleted this sheet, and this sheet is here again, freshly populated with the new data. A similar setup could also be used to, instead of coming to Sheets, we could export this same data to email or potentially through Slack. These are all supported internally through Retool. And so let us know if you would like to see some tutorials on some of those other options. Thank you.